What's good, YouTube? My name's Elliot, but you may know me as the Immature Student. Today, we're going to be talking about Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney, and we're going to be reviewing it. So, Conversations with Friends is complete at 321 pages, so not a long book, not a short book, about a week's worth of reading. It follows the story of one young Frances, a woman of, I believe, 21, who lives and studies at university in Ireland. She is very intelligent. She is a writer, and specifically a performance poet. She lives with her best friend and ex-lover Melissa, and the story follows her essentially as she tries to find herself. It's a more adult coming-of-age story. So many coming-of-age stories are following 14 to 17-year-old protagonists and are YA. This is not a YA book. This is fairly sophisticated in its writing style. You have to pay attention to it. And there's quite a lot of sex in it. Nothing overly gratuitous or kind of gruesome, but there are gruesome, not the right word to describe sex. Graphic, I suppose. There's nothing too graphic, but there is a lot of sex in the book. And yeah, so it's a coming-of-age story for people who are a bit older than 14. So I think the most notable thing about this book is the lack of dialogue tags. So throughout this book, they don't use speech marks or inverted commas to indicate speech. And at times, it can be mildly difficult to discern if something is being said or if it's in someone's head. There are a few specific lines that come to mind. Some readers may find this annoying, so be aware of it going into it, but for me, I think it adds a layer. Having to think, was this said or was this not said, adds something to the book, and I think that's, good stuff. I would say that it's well worth a read. I think it's deserving of some of the praise that it got. It is well written. There are a lot of hidden undertones throughout the book. So there's a lot about class, there's a lot about money, there's a lot about obviously there's a lot about sex and relationships, there's a lot about confidence, there's a lot about careers and what's really good and what's really bad, about alcoholism. There's a whole lot of layers to this book, so it's the kind of book that you will gain things if you read it a second or a third time. My one minor complaint is I personally, on first reading, thought it should have ended a chapter sooner than it did. I originally thought the final chapter didn't add anything. Having reread the book, I think that actually I judged maybe too harshly. I think the last chapter does add something and it's thought-provoking, but I think 90% of readers would have probably been happier if the book had ended a chapter sooner, because just of what happens in the final chapter, without giving any spoilers away. Obviously, I'm not Sally Rooney and neither are you, so it's not our decision, but that would be my 5 cents. I'm going to give this book a 4 out of 5 pages because it is good, it is worth a read, but it wasn't life-changing, and I don't think the prose was special enough for it to warrant a full 5-page review. So that's really all I've got to say on this book. Hope you enjoyed the video. Comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Peace and love, and I'll see all you guys in the next video.